I got Dr. Akalana and then Antwan. You're a mentor.
That too.
Been doing that for how long?
Since 18.
Well, you work with veterans.
Yes. So I'm currently employed with LA County Department of Mental Health.
Okay.
And I work with vets. So
Okay.
our job is to find those vets who may be down and out, and we help them find the resources to get back on their feet.
Let's go into clergy. When did you get into that?
Ministry for 23 years. I was raised Catholic, then transitioned into what we understand to be Pentecostal Christianity.
When I have these conversations with students, my goal is to help them see themselves better than they see themselves.
I go into work and ask the Spirit to guide me, to lead me to one child that needs me today, one teacher, and one parent. I don't think I was called to preach. I can preach, but I wasn't called to preach. I was called to teach.
Welcome to Drinking Water Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy Dorsey. I'm by myself today. Normally I have the kids. I got Dr. Akalana and then Antwan. I'd like to say thank you guys for coming. And I know we talked about it for a while, you and I, and now we're here. So I'm gonna start with Antwan. Let's see. You're a sibling?
I do.
Oh,
I do have siblings.
You do have siblings. Okay, so you're a son. You're a brother. You uncle?
I'm an uncle.
You're an uncle. You're a father.
Yes, sir.
You military.
Yes, sir.
Wait, I need to go back because you're a mentor.
That too.
Been doing that for how long?
Pretty much since 18.
Since 18?
I've always had like just youth around me.
Okay.
I've always kind of like just whether I took them under my wing or just had them around me just to, just give advice to just.
Got you. You're a father of one?
Yes.
Father of one. You're a husband.
Yep.
Air Force?
One.
That we know of?
Right.
Air Force?
Yes, sir.
And you said Army?
Yes. My first 8 years was in the Army.
Your first 8?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I found out, I was like, huh? How does that work?
Yeah, I just did my first term.
Okay.
It was an 8-year term.
Okay.
Since I was done with that term, I just went right into the Air Force, no break in service.
Nice. Okay. Dr. Akalana.
Yes.
29 years? How many years?
29 years in education.
Education.
Yes.
29 years in education. Now, you are a dad. You're a son?
Yes.
Brother?
Yes.
Let's see. Husband?
Yes.
Your uncle?
Yes.
Mentor?
Yes.
Educator?
Yes.
All the hats we wear, right?
Understood.
All the hats we wear. Now, how did you get wait. Let's go into the clergy, right?
Yes.
Is it clergy?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go into clergy. When did you get into that?
So I've been in ministry for 23 years. I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
And then during my college years, I kind of wilded out and then came to learn who the Lord was in my early 20s, and then transitioned into what we understand to be Pentecostal Christianity.
Got you. Pentecostal Christianity.
Yeah, just from the Pentecostal standpoint of it, moving from Catholicism.
Okay. Moving from Catholicism. Got it. So education part of it. You've been in education. Where did you start?
So I started in 1994 as an elementary school teacher.
Okay.
I've taught kinder, first, third, fourth, fifth, and then did that for the first 12 years of my career, and then moved into administration.
Man, the kinder was tough because I used to teach.
Okay.
But I was substitute teaching. I remember they called me for kinder one time. I said, don't do it again. I said, I will not come back. Give me anything above third grade. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah,
I only did 6 months.
Yeah. What'd you say?
That's the difference between me and my wife, or my wife and I. She does the babies at our church, and I do the 13 and up.
Okay, got you. So
I prefer older kids.
Yeah, it's to me you can get to them a little bit better, but I don't want them too old.
Yeah.
Because at middle school, I didn't want that either. I was like, I'll take high school, but middle school, ooh, they were mean. My hair is gray. Dude said, hey man, you you got lint in your hair. I said, then get it out. He was like, no, he said it won't come out. I said, dude, that's my gray hair.
They think they mean well.
Yeah. I don't know if he meant well. Right. So, and you, what are you doing? Like, so you, you work with veterans.
Yes. So I'm currently employed with LA County Department of Mental Health.
Okay.
And I work with vets. So our job is to find those vets who may be down and out, and we help them find the resources to get back on their feet. Okay.
And how did you get started in that? Well, let's do this. Let's go back. How did you pick the Air Force? No, Army.
Oh.
How did that happen?
That story is pretty funny. My mom just introduced me to this guy who said I can make $200 a month if I just go to this place 1 week in a month. And being a high school kid, 16 years old, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I was 17. So I signed up in February of my senior year.
Okay.
Graduated in June. Next thing I know, they're calling me to leave for basic training in August. Didn't even have a clue that I was going. Like,
you did not know?
No.
Oh my
I just
goodness.
thought that I just had to show up to this place, and that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Making my little $200 a month.
Yeah.
And then when August came and I got that letter or that call saying that I need to go to basic training, I was like, what? But it was a blessing in disguise.
Got it.
I will be retiring soon, so
February
will be 25 years.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of excited about this transition.
Okay.
Not most people my age can say that.
No, not at all. So when you retire, are you still how do you say a part of it? Are you like, is it just get okay, I retire, I'm done?
Pretty much.
Pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you go longer?
I can go longer.
Okay.
I'm just choosing not to.
You tired of it?
I am. It's a different military these days.
Oh, got it. So then your job in the military, what did you do? Like,
so I started off as an operating room tech.
Yeah.
And then I cross-trained later into patient administration. Uh-huh. And then when I joined the Air Force, I started in information management, which then turned to knowledge operations, which now I'm a unit training manager. So I've kind of bounced around in different platforms of the service. Okay,
so you didn't do what we call the grunt work, like the...
Nah, I got brains.
Nice.
You scored high on that test, huh?
I did.
Real good. I call him. He's like my son, Dallas. He's in the Air Force. He's in Alaska right now. Shout out Dallas. Oh man, he's a mechanic. He's work on the jets. He knows everything about jets. He's planning on retiring like you.
And that's money there.
Yeah. That's what he said. Now, Akalana, how'd you get started in education? Like, what made you go that route?
Education for me was a thing where I had 2 black teachers.
Okay.
My entire K-12 experience.
Okay.
One of them was male and one was female. And so...
Wait, where are you from?
So I grew up in Pasadena.
Okay.
And my mother is from Guyana, South America.
Okay.
And so I was the last of 6 children that my mother only had a 4th grade education. And so it was kind of hard for her to kind of help me, but she kept her foot on me to stay in school and get an education. And so I made it all the way through to college, made sure that, I graduated from there. And once I was in college, I kind of wished that I had seen more African American male presence in the educational.
So was she your biggest motivation, would you say?
I would say so. Absolutely.
Okay. To
some extent, in conjunction with the idea that if there were more of us, maybe more of us could be seen in this.
So even in high school, you had that thought?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. And then to go to college, what pushed you there? Because I know some kids, you know how it is.
Like Antwan said, that's kind of funny. I just needed to get out of the house. I needed to get away. And so the idea of me not being at home anymore in a structured environment was exactly what I needed.
Okay. What college?
I went to UC Riverside.
Okay. Okay, so you still stayed.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was maybe a 55-minute ride on the freeway back.
Yeah, long enough. So then from there you go to college, from high school go to college. Were there any influential teachers that kind of push you?
UCR had quite a few in there.
I'm talking about in high school, no?
In high school, just Mr. Lewis.
Okay, got you.
And then I had a typing teacher in middle school.
Yeah.
But Mr. Lewis, interestingly enough, my preschool teacher was his mother.
Okay.
But this was way back in 5 years old, and then kind of matriculated up to her son. But literally that was it, all the way through. And I was just wondering, like, why aren't there more of us teaching? And that kind of.
Don't we still have that problem today?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the reason why I got out was because of money. I was like, man, how am I going to pay for my bills? Because if I go get my clear credential, I got to pay $20,000 to $25,000 more. And I'm like, I can't do it. So I went and started working for Harcourt. At the time, it's called Harcourt. Working for them. Then No Child Left Behind came. Nobody's buying books. I got laid off. Then I went to where I went, So now you're in college, high school, college. You start to see there's not enough African Americans or black teachers present. Okay, so then that's the route you go. Now, you as administrator, how do you bring those in?
Same thing happened once again. I was nurtured in Rialto Unified School District, and there were a handful of African American administrators in Rialto.
Okay.
And they were all just about to tap out and retire.
Okay.
And so if there was maybe 5 to 10, and that's pushing it.
Yeah.
With 30 some odd schools, but it looked good.
Okay.
And I had my mentor Robin Santiago, and she was able to see in me things I didn't see in myself, and began to nurture the administrative gift and leadership gift in me.
Yeah. Okay. That is cool, man. So then administration, so how do you pull, I just don't know how it's done now. How do they recruit? Do they give bonuses at all? Because I remember at one time they were doing that.
No bonuses. It's just one of those things. So my wife is also in education, and so we kind of leapfrogged each other. Meaning, she would go grab a couple of credential certificates and degrees. Have our babies. I'd be at home with the kids, and then she would come back, and then
How many
it would
kids?
be my turn. I have 3 boys.
3 boys. Ooh.
3 boys.
Yeah, you got a lot.
23, 21, and 19.
Dang.
I had
Just
3
now
of
got
them
out of high school, right?
I had 3 of them in college this year.
Oh, wow. Hopefully they got scholarships.
Loan, scholarships, a little bit of everything.
Man.
You know how it is.
It's tough, man. It's tough because it's expensive, and then they go to school, and then they're not doing not doing a degree, but that's just part of life, man. They get a lot out of it. So, Antwan, you go you're high school, you go straight to the military. Education?
I just have some college.
Okay.
So I think it was West LA College, have some credits there, and then University of Maryland.
Okay.
Oh, and Azusa Pacific.
So where are the places you travel to?
Man. I would say Africa was probably like the highlight.
Okay.
But that was during my time in Germany. I was stationed in Germany.
Okay.
And during that time, I did most of my traveling, like just to.
Yeah.
But Africa, Germany.
Like your passport got a lot of stamps, right?
It does. It does. It does.
So how did you like Germany?
My wife hates me telling my Germany stories, but that's how good it was.
Oh, really? Really?
No, for me, it was a growing process.
Okay.
I think that's where I did most of my maturing.
Okay.
Or, I guess, getting it out. I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I've always been a church kid.
Yeah.
So when we deployed to Germany, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
by myself. I don't have my parents,
Yeah.
telling me anything,
Yeah.
So I go from being in church 7 days a week to now I'm in Germany where,
Yeah.
black men are a high commodity out there. You know what I mean? So,
To the females.
yeah. So, it was definitely enjoyable. I did get, some fun out of there, but I also learned a lot too.
Okay.
That's where my wife was revealed to me as well.
Okay.
She wasn't out there.
Yeah,
She's not in the military at all, but we just stayed connected.
Mm-hmm.
And during my time out there, that's when I really realized like what I always wanted out of life, but never had, I just never had those experiences.
Okay, got it.
I was always just like that good kid, So
So you wild out a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely did.
Got you. Did you go to church?
I did go to church like maybe 3 times.
Really?
during the time I was out there.
When I went to Germany and just Europe in general, I'm amazed at how they keep their history.
Yeah.
The churches are AD, BC. Oh man, I'm like, oh my goodness. And you may see some wires going somewhere, but they keep their history. And I just, at the time that I went, I was reading, actually the crew that I went with, they're all reading Da Vinci Code. So I wasn't able to get in these conversations because I didn't read the book. So I said, man, I ordered the book. I started reading. Then it gets you to read the Bible because you're like, man, what's going on? Then I started reading the Bible. Then you start going through Germany, seeing these churches with these signs on them. The just different signs we think mean something else, like the Pentagon. What is the one, the devil sign?
Pentagram.
The pentagram, like that. That doesn't mean that back then.
Right.
And I didn't know. So then I started doing research on that. I would call Pastor Dr. Dockery at St. Stephen's. I'll call him in the middle of he didn't care. I said, hey, how come I just had a questions for him? Because I'm out there and I'm reading both the Bible and now Da Vinci Code. And man, he gave me a lot of knowledge. So that's why I'm surprised you didn't go to the churches out there.
So and I thought you meant like how I came to church out here. So
no,
because they did have like a Baptist church that I
attended
3 times, but I did go to the just on tours and stuff. Visit those type of churches.
Okay. So you didn't go to mass or anything?
Oh no,
it is done a little different. It's
very much so.
Done a little different.
Very much so.
Okay, so. Dr. Akalana, now, when did you get clergy? When did you do that?
So I was probably, 21. So about 9 years into ministry with Imani Temple at the time.
Okay. Where's that at?
It was in Pomona.
Okay.
It has since relocated into San Bernardino during the pandemic. Due to some
got it.
shortfalls of that at that time. And so 9 years in, I had had gotten into it through my teaching background. I began to work with the youth.
Okay.
And so I began to work with the young men in particular, and then would do that, and then got into the discipleship training ministry components of it. And about maybe 8 years after that, we're about 2010, I got the calling and got ordained as an elder, and have been in an elder associate pastor role since then.
Okay. So when you say elder, for those of us that don't know, what does that mean?
So the difference between what would be considered a deacon and an elder in most of our churches, the deacon is called to assist in service. Okay. So called by God. And called for God. So for meaning you're going to help the pastors and those people, serve the table, serve offering, serve communion, serve at the church, and do the things that the elders, who are mainly ascribed to the teaching roles of worship and fellowship and evangelism and discipleship and ministry services. And so you're usually ordained into one of those particular areas of service, where a deacon will serve across the board. And if they then get the calling, then they can then be elevated to an elder. And then the elder is basically that highest position.
But all that comes with education, right, in classes? It's not you just, hey, I got a calling, right?
It depends on the ministry.
Does it?
Some ministries will make you go get certificates and degrees.
Okay.
And so you'll see a lot of churches now that have churches connected to, schools connected to their ministries in order to equip them for the work that they will be doing.
Okay. Is that how you two met?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What church are you at now?
We're
Same?
at same church, yes.
Okay. Are you, say I want to call it a pastor, the head pastor. Do you go in front, teach?
I do.
Okay.
So
okay.
as an associate pastor, so there is the head pastor, or in our particular case, our bishop, and
Okay.
then you have associate pastors
Okay.
that may work in particular areas of ministry. And so everybody else under him that has their eldership role and a pastoral support role, whether it be in men's ministry, women's ministry, evangelism, helps, worship, all of these areas, they're considered associate pastors.
Okay. Got you. Oh, okay. So I've always wondered this, because how do you get up there in this? And I know it's the Holy Spirit comes through, but just to come in and do a sermon, have you tried one?
I have, but I don't necessarily say that I've been. I do believe that we're all called to ministry, to do God's work. However, I'm not one who says that, oh, God spoke to me and called me to preach, or, called me into the pulpit. However, when I'm asked, or when I was asked, I did, get in front of church. And I'm one of those who, gets really nervous. I'm definitely not a hooper. My boy Akalana, he's not a hooper either, but, it's just the word, man.
Gotcha.
But, everything that comes with it comes with being under the Holy Spirit as well, or being guided by the Holy Spirit. But so I don't consider myself like I wouldn't be a pastor, but they do refer to me as a minister, though.
So
how
do the topics come up? Do they give you the topics? Because here's what I noticed with some churches is that, not some, there's a lot where this church will be doing whatever. Let's say they're being why am I drawing a blank? Matthew. Say they're in Matthew, right? And then this other church is in the same thing. And it seems like they're all kind of the same topic, but have a different way of bringing out that message. Mm-hmm. Now, is that something that's given to pastors or deacons, or?
So most ministries are led by their head pastor, and their head pastor picks the theme for the year.
Okay.
And then once they pick the theme for the year, they usually have about 4 to 5 main doctrinal teachings that they want to come under, whether it be couples, whether it be faith, whether it be marriages, it might be eschatological discussion of end time prophecy.
Okay.
It could be anything. And so when they pick those things,
big old words, eschatological.
As they pick these themes and topics, that is how you kind of, and depending on where you are in the year, if they ask you to step up, that's what you're coming in to fill and meet the need that kind of fell into the flow of that particular pastor's thematic choice.
And just growing up in the Baptist church, it's a little different. Like the only pastor is the head pastor, and then you'll have like the associate ministers who we refer to as reverends. Yeah. And but we've always had you can pick your own, on whatever your
topic or whatever it is. Yes,
and whatever you was led to preach about is what you preach about. But I do notice at our church, at Imani, that we do kind of feed off what the bishop gives us. Like, we kind of stay in that same,
and it's kind of
in the same rhythm.
At St. Stephen's, it's the same way. They stay in the same. The message, it's like you get one of the pastors, he's short, quick to the point. He 20 minutes, he up there, I'm gone. Like he's an older gentleman.
Nice.
He goes, that's one message, and he gone. And sometimes, at one time, I didn't even know he ended. He was just got his book, gone.
Sat down.
So the calling, how did you, so anybody getting into, let's say, I'm gonna just start with education. Cause I know we need teachers, We need those motivators. I know California scores are low. How do we make it attractive again? Because it's like it's not. Like kids don't go, I want to be a teacher. I don't hear that too much. Are you guys hearing the same thing?
Yes. But there's a lot of things though. It's not even just teacher.
Okay.
That I'm seeing, this generation kind of like leaning towards. I don't see those. You always would hear doctor, policeman, lawyer, but you don't even hear them talk like that anymore. It's always either a professional athlete or something with music, rapping. It's
now YouTubing.
Yeah. It's like they don't want to use their brains as much.
Yeah.
But they're so smart that they can still succeed in those areas that you talked about. With like YouTubing.
Yeah, and it's the conventional way. I just wonder about how do we get, because even for me, when I left because of money, right? I look at what the teachers make. I'm going, like, how do they do it? Especially in this day and age. How do you go in and deal with what you got to deal with, depending on what area you're in. I was when I was in Walnut Unified, and then I went to Norco. There's a big difference there, depending on area you go to, different type of kids. So I just always wonder about recruiting. Are you guys recruiting us? But then somebody told me you can't get upset if they're not applying. And I was like, oh, that's right.
I think for me, when I kind of try to recruit people into teaching, I make sure that they have a dream or an aspiration that is beyond just that teaching. And I utilize teaching as a springboard or a safety net even for them to catapult themselves into another area, but yet always having this safety net to fall back on. If they go get their credential, they will always have a job that has benefits. They will always receive a monthly paycheck. And then you utilize that to springboard into whatever other field you want. So my son, as an example, wants to become a financial planner.
Oh, okay.
And so he went to school and has his degree in marketing, and he currently works for FedEx. But I have suggested to him that he come and learn to be a substitute teacher in the meantime, which will then allow him the opportunity to get his first 100 clients, pass his Series 7 test to become insurance, and then utilize it to springboard off of, because a lot of times we go get these college degrees and then we don't do anything with them. But teaching gives you a nice safety net where if you have validated your credential, cleared your credential, you will always have a safety net of which to fall back on, and you can always go back and teach. You also give your presence to the young children of this generation.
Gotcha.
And so I kind of push it in that route. And with the idea, once again, in mind, is that we move not only from teaching, but go ahead and get your administrative credential and move to a place where at some point, some of our people are going to open their own schools, and we need to have them ready with their administrative credential and their teaching experience in their back pocket in order to do it.
Got it. Wow.
That is a wow.
Yeah. Going in, your dad, you working with veterans. Now, how does that work? Because I know you work with mental health, right? And then you got to come home to a little one.
That's not hard.
No?
Not for me.
No? Okay.
Watching other youth is what scares me for my son.
Got you.
Not so much the, what I'm dealing with when it comes to like the veterans.
Okay.
Like I hate to see the, the homelessness or, or them not making it,
Yeah.
So I'm so eager to help them get them back on their feet.
Yeah.
But in regards to, in relation to my son, that doesn't.
Is it? So what about the youth coming home?
Man. So I did mentoring for 6 years with a nonprofit organization called Young Visionaries. And during that time, we worked in about 12 different schools in the San Bernardino school district. And that experience was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. It helped me realize like what my passion was. I've always worked in that. But it really kind of stamped it. Like, okay, this is what I want to do. Something regarding helping young people. And so, but the conversations that I have with some of these teens, especially when you hear their backgrounds and teachers or counselors not even knowing their home situations, but still always condemning, not knowing the background. It's hard to watch. So sometimes I did advocate for a lot of children, but at the same time, I'm one of those who, if you know better, you do better. So when I have these conversations with students, my goal is to help them see themselves better than they see themselves. Most of them don't see themselves past, high school. They really do just see like, oh, I'm just gonna. They put all their eggs in being a professional athlete. And or a rapper. And they'll come out with a song, and it's like. So my conversation with, is this how you want to be viewed?
I don't know if, I wonder, because you said they see themselves as athletes and rappers. I don't know if kids see themselves, right? I think they're caught up in the moment. They don't really look past today.
But he said it himself when Akalana mentioned the not seeing themselves in schools. Like he only saw 2 teachers, that he saw growing up that kind of like motivated him to want to be a teacher. So other students can see people like him.
So when I say not seeing yourself, I'm talking about, I don't think they really look into themselves. Okay, what do I want to be?
That's what I'm leading to.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, man.
All good. But so even with that, when they see the most successful, in my opinion, when they see that the most successful person that they know is either a rapper or that looks like them is a rapper or an athlete, and they don't see it in the other I guess the scholastic areas, then it seems like that's all that they shoot for or feel that they can shoot for, not knowing that there's more potential because they don't see it. And so, and it's not in their face. So like I said, my goal has always been to help them see themselves better than they see themselves.
Got it. This is Drinking Water Podcast. I'm here with Akalana and Antwan. Thank you guys. Is there something you guys want to leave anybody that's pursuing education, pursuing being in the clergy? Is there something you want to leave advice for?
Definitely. I would definitely say to those that are aspiring to come into education to know your why. Why do you want to do this, and what is it that you expect to get out of it? And make sure you hold on to your passion, because you go in to try to change the world, and you realize that the only person you can ultimately change is yourself.
Gotcha.
And so
that's powerful.
I come to work now not to change the world, but to throw in 3 starfish back into the ocean each day.
Nice.
So you walk the beach and you've seen the analogy of all these starfish that have washed up on shore. I go into work and ask the Spirit to guide me to lead one child, to lead me to one child that needs me today, one teacher, and one parent.
Nice.
And I go home knowing that I've made a difference, because you can feel like you keep throwing them back in and they keep washing up.
Wow.
And so know your why.
Gotcha.
And then hold on to it. Because everything in you and around you will try to move you from what's central to who God has created you to be in your purpose and in your why.
Got it. And then leading to ministry, what do you say for that? Same thing, know your why?
Know your why. Because for me, the idea of teaching people how to love God is my why.
Okay.
And so kind of going back to that idea of why, people that preach, I don't think I was called to preach. I can preach, but I wasn't called to preach. I was called to teach.
Gotcha.
And in that teaching, I feel that there are moments that become that preach moment.
Okay.
But I much rather sit down and teach and educate and get you to get light bulbs to come on that will never be turned off.
Nice. Body of the church.
Yes.
Everybody has their job to do.
Yes.
Okay. And then for you, so military, would you recommend that to anybody?
When I'm, because it wasn't all, it wasn't all good, but your character and personality has a lot to do with if I was to recommend that to somebody based on, if
interaction. Yeah.
However, just in general, with most of the students that I talk to, or even when I, sometimes I might speak, at an engagement to help, a recruiter or something. But I recommend it if that child or that young person is not doing anything else with their life. If they're not going to college or don't have a plan for success, I think it's a good icebreaker, if you will, to kind of like find yourself.
Okay.
And maybe even get into a career that can help you outside of that.
Okay.
None of the jobs that I've done in the Air Force have relate to mental health, but working in the OR, I did work in a psych ward, and I've seen those.
You seen it all?
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I've seen how I don't even know if I can say that, how our government, just do things.
You said it.
Well, I'm about to retire. But I've seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen things happen that shouldn't have happened.
Yes.
And
would you say, and I know we're trying to wrap it up, but would you say that's a government or that's a person? The person's dealing with this situation. Are you saying it's them?
I'm saying it's government. Got
you. Okay.
When it's against your choice, or if you're doing something for survival, I think a lot of people will do anything, to survive, to get back home to their families.
Okay.
Even if they're lying.
Gotcha.
However, when we swear, that's not something that we should be doing according to them. But to me, things are circumstantial, and if I needed to get back to my wife and kids,
read between the lines, people.
I would say whatever I need to say to get back home to my family.
Gotcha.
But sometimes there are consequences with doing so.
Yeah.
And but that's no secret. I mean, that's I'm not saying anything out of order. But I do suggest it for people who just have no plan.
So the people that you mentor, do you say, "Hey, I got something for you. If you go around the corner, you're gonna make $200 a day"?
No, I don't trick them like that. But a lot of them, surprisingly, they look at my life and think that I'm just so successful. Yeah. And I used to feel guilty about that until I realized if I'm the best example that they have, why not?
Why not?
So I let them believe whatever they want to believe. Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's no good money in it, but
you're successful. We all have our levels of success, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
and
absolutely.
This is part of the reason why we have the podcast of drinking water. You have everybody has their level of success. Don't let somebody else tell you how it's supposed to look.
Exactly.
And you're successful.
And especially in their eyes when they're when they're coming. Like I said, most of the youth that I work with they're considered at risk, or the school might say that they're at risk. Yeah. So. And knowing their stories, I am the most successful person that they know. Yeah. So if that's something that motivates them to want to join, if they're not doing anything else with their lives, then I condone it.
Got it. Okay, so then going into the mental health part of it, would you recommend that? That's a character too, right?
Yeah.
Your character.
It's just about being passionate about. Because prior to working with the Department of Mental Health, I was working in Treasury and Tax for LA County.
What's that again?
Treasury and Tax.
Okay, got you.
Treasury and Tax collection.
Okay.
And so I didn't like that job.
Dang, you done a lot.
But
you retired from that too?
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
No, it was just a promotion, and I ended up going to mental health. But starting off in Treasury and Tax, that was just a move just to get to where I am now.
Okay.
So, but Department of Mental Health, I really do believe that you just have to be. I don't know. I just operate out of love.
I gotta commend because the work that I do. I see mental health every day. I commend the people. The people who work with them, and because I don't have patience, and I know it. I had a guy come to me the other day saying he needs help. I told him, stop talking. Let me go get the psych. Have her come in. I said, I'll make calls while she talk to you. I said, because I'm probably going to say something that's going to trigger you because I got work to do. I'm just insensitive sometimes, and I know it. Because he was talking a lot. He was all over the place mentally. He was having one of those moments, and I couldn't get him to focus to here, and he was trying to be over here. And we're talking about his drug addiction. I wanted him to focus on that. Not, I need a job. I need this. I need to call my girlfriend. Can I do push-ups? I want to do push-ups right here. Can I do push-ups? You can't do push-ups in my office, man. Stop it. Sit down. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. So that.
Whereas me, I was like, okay, if you do 10 push-ups, can we finish our conversation?
For me, I'm like, no, you can't do push. So that's why I said take it to the professional, right? So I commend them. I commend you for working with them.
On, especially when it comes to mental health, is that it could have easily been me. You know, it could have easily been any one of us. Yeah. So, but I also feel that whatever life brings onto a person, how they choose to cope with it, you know, there's good coping mechanisms and there's bad. Yeah. And they might have chose a bad one, but still something led to that. And so I do have empathy for those. Like I always say, I don't think anybody asks to be, I want to be a drug addict when I grow up, or you know, I don't know, I want to be a thief when I grow up. I want to rob people when I grow up. I don't think people really grow up saying that to themselves. Yeah. So when they end up in those type of situations where they're, you know, quote unquote, forced to do those things, it's not good. But with working with some of these clients, like I do have empathy to kind of at least empathize with the fact that something tragic happened in their life that brought them to this point. Yes. And so that's what makes it a little bit easier for me to, you know, because they you know, they may stink or whatever, but I still shake their hands.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I do
can wash
too.
my hands.
The smell you just gotta get over. Yeah. Well, there's certain guys that look at their hands and I go, oh, we don't do fist bump. You know, those are the real transient guys. But the other ones, man, I do shake hands. I try to give them the respect that mainly that God wants us to, right? They're people. You know, we're supposed to love them. I do what I can for whoever it is that I'm dealing with, and if I can't, I'll try to guide them to someone who can. But
I think that's good too. That you have that state of mind. Yeah. To know that I don't have this type. You know.
Yeah. I work special ed. I did severe. I did the severe class over the summer.
So it is adults you don't have patience for?
I didn't.
Because I think it takes a lot of patience to deal with special ed.
I worked it one summer. Okay. No, 2 summers. And that was it. Because I knew that wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
But I did it also because I had to get some credits. And that's when I learned that you have to be a special person to come in. Because you can literally teach the same lesson every day, and they don't get it. They're not going to get it. They're not going to come in and, okay, we can move on to another lesson. My mentor, Miss Kelly, she said, teach whatever you want to teach. I said, but they're not getting this. No, just make up a new lesson. Just teach. That you know they're not going to get it. We're there to just put it in them, keep working with them. Like even the simple things like eating the pancakes with a fork. They were picking up spoons. And I couldn't believe it. And she had, just relax. Just give them a fork. Teach them how to use it. Then we'll go out to dinner or lunch again. She said, you're going to have to keep doing that every time. I said, oh. All right, that's when I knew. All right, it's not for me. So in teaching and dealing with people, you got to know you as well. You got to know your boundaries. You got to know, okay, that discernment of the tongue. Discernment of, okay, is he real? Is he really? And I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong terms. Is he really crazy, or is he just trying to get something out of me? So you got to know that too, the discernment, and then you got to know tame the tongue, because sometimes you get upset because they might say something. Then you got to realize, oh, it's not you.
Exactly.
It's not you. All right, go ahead and cuss me out. All right. You done? All right. I want that apology tomorrow, though. And there's one guy, he would cuss me out all the time. And I will get that apology. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Okay. I mean, he'll get in my face, and I'll have to. I said, listen, I'm going to leave, but because I'm going to say something that you're not going to like. So let me leave before I lose my job. So I'll leave, and then he'll call. But anyway, that's drinking water. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.